This is the Australian stock market closing report for Thursday, the 12th of May 2016. In overnight sessions, the weekly EIA petroleum status data showed a draw on crude oil inventories of negative 3.4 million barrels when a surplus of 0.71 million barrels was forecast. This created an initial 5% spike higher in oil prices to 6-month highs, resulting in strong follow-through to the ASX Energy sector in today's trading. A weaker greenback also helped lift commodity-related stocks, which saw the mining and resource sectors higher. The Dow Jones was off 1.2% overnight, which dampened sentiment in non-commodity related cyclical sectors within the ASX. The heavyweight financial sector demonstrated the most relative weakness. The contrasting price action across all ASX sectors saw the benchmark index close down by 13 points, or 0.24% to 5,359. The daily trading range was 35 points, with the high of the session at 5,372 and the low of the session at 5,337. Market breadth for the benchmark index was negative, with 75 advancing stocks versus 110 declining stocks and 15 stocks unchanged. For the second day in a row, the lead sector was the All Ordinaries Gold Index, higher by 3.8%. Gold Road Resources was higher by 7.55%, Tribune Resources was up 6.7%, and St Barbara was higher by 5.2%. The energy sector saw positive follow-through in today's session, with Origin Energy closing higher by 5.5%, Santos closed to the upside by 5.4%, and Whitehaven Coal was up 5%. The materials sector closed up 0.7%, with Incitec Pivot higher by 3.4%, Nufarm up 2.75%, and Alumina higher by 1.5%. BHP Billiton and Rio Tinto were mixed, with BHP closing to the upside by 0.2% to $18.59 and Rio Tinto closing lower by 0.2% to $45.90. The consumer discretionary sector closed up by 0.93%, with the top three components, Aristocrat Leisure, Fairfax Media and Myers Holding, populating the ASX 200 5 best performers list. The non-cyclical utilities industry group demonstrated significant weakness relative to the ASX 200, closing lower by 1.65%. APA Group closed down 2.6%, Spark Infrastructure closed lower by 1.8%, AGL Energy closed to the downside 1.5%. In economic news, the White House said in a phone call late yesterday, Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull and US President Barack Obama discussed the need to work together to address the global glut in steel. China and other major steel producers at a meeting last month were unable to agree on measures to curb the overcapacity crisis. Chinese steel production hit a record high earlier this year, which saw Mr. Turnbull raise the huge overcapacity issue with top Chinese officials. Chinese officials have indicated that they are already taking steps to reduce capacity. However, the Chinese state news said blaming China for the global steel industry crisis was a lazy excuse. The 5 most active stocks were Fairfax Media, Fortescue Metals, AMP, South 32 and Telstra Corporation. The 5 best performers were Aristocrat Leisure up 10.5%, Fairfax Media higher by 8.7%, Credit Corp Group up 8.3%, Myer Holdings up 6.7% and Origin Energy higher by 5.5%. The 5 worst performers were AMP down 5.3%, Cochlear down 4.8%, Mesoblast lower by 3.9%, GWA Group down 3.6% and Westpac lower by 3.6%. The Australian dollar is currently trading to the downside by 0.65% to 73.28 US cents. Spot gold is marginally lower by 0.2% to $1,273 US dollars. And crude oil is slightly positive in the Asian session, closing higher by 22 cents or 0.48% to $46.45. This has been the Australian Stock Market Closing Report for Thursday the 12th of May 2016, and I've been your host, Aaron First. I'll see you again next time.